Some of my biggest fears were whether or not my baby was getting enough to eat, and yeah, whether or not I was doing it correctly.
I was really concerned that I would not have the supply needed to do breastfeeding. I've heard a lot of stories about why women quit is because they had low supply. And so I was very concerned about the fact that I wouldn't be able to make enough to feed her.
When I was pregnant the first time, I had no intention of breastfeeding. I hadn't been around it I didn't know anybody who breastfed. And so it was just kind of foreign to me.
My biggest fears and concerns were that I wasn't going to be successful at it, that I wouldn't have enough milk for him, that others would think he was starving because I wasn't making enough, because you can't see what's going into him like you can with a bottle.
Breastfeeding in public.
Nursing in public and people, oh, she's nursing. But after my first daughter, I didn't even care because, like, she's getting benefits and she's eating, so everybody else is eating, she can eat too.
Yeah.
The biggest fears was the pain. Like, did it hurt? How long does it hurt? How long is it gonna, just what is gonna happen? How does your body change?
Probably that it would hurt a lot, which it did for the first maybe 3 or 4 days, but after that, it didn't hurt at all. I just used lanolin and I was able to get past it. It wasn't that big of an obstacle.
My biggest fears and concerns were mainly just about it hurting, and if it does hurt, how long it's going to hurt for. And I was worried that whenever I had her, I wasn't going to be able to breastfeed for as long as I am now.
I was concerned about the amount of time. I had to go back to work. Would I be able to pump?
The biggest factor for me to decide was if I had the time to do it, wanted to do it and was able to have the time to feed him. Because it takes a lot of time.
But I knew when I got pregnant with my first one that I was only going to nurse if possible. One, for the main fact that formula is so expensive in bottles, and breast milk you can carry with you. You don't have to make a bottle, so it's easier. So I already knew I was going to breastfeed.
And then when my daughter was born, the nurse helped me get her to latch on, and that was, I don't know, just that first time is when I decided that I was going to breastfeed.
Who or what helped you to ease some of your concerns and fears?
My mom. She was my main support in breastfeeding, and she encouraged me a lot.
In the hospital, there was a lactation consultant who came and helped me, taught me how to get the baby to latch on. And then they did a follow-up.
The WIC counselors were great. If I hadn't had them in my corner and heard that what I was doing was right, I probably wouldn't have been successful.
Because I'd heard a little bit about, it being more healthy for the baby and building up an immune system. And so after she tried for the first time, then I just knew that it was the right thing to do. It wasn't hard, it didn't hurt, it was special. It was something, I don't know, it was just neat.